Greetings everyone, my name is ZAIRE SABB and I am coming to you today to talk about a awesome venture project that has just been released. It's called Herbal Harmony, a comprehensive guide to using herbs for reproductive health. It is my book, it is my baby. It has been in the making and brewing for over a decade. And what it is it's not only my thoughts, but what I have found in the research and the work that I've been doing to help heal the world one womb at a time, okay? And the book goes over all the things. So we start off with just taking it back to basics, right? What does the body do? Like, what are these organs? How do they function? How do they talk to each other? What is the conversation they're having? Why is it an issue if you have high estrogen and low progesterone, or if you have high estrogen and high testosterone? How does that look in real time? What does that look like in real life for both men or women? Okay, so we talk about that. We talk about how the glands of the body work, you know, how the prostate works, how the fallopian tubes and the ovaries work, how all that connects to the hippocampus and to the pituitary glands, and like this awesome conversation that everybody keeps having. And what happens when that conversation is disrupted, whether it's disrupted by food choices, environment, lifestyle, or even some, you know, pathological or metabolic processes within the body. I go over all of that. And then after dealing with all of that, I talk about relationships, how to work with your partner to enhance your reproductive systems so that you can have a more quality of life, whether that quality of life simply be trying to bring a baby into this world, or if it's trying to release the next best, greatest idea that you may have, or even if it's just to have peace, all right? And when I say have peace, we go through transitions, we go through phases, you know, from menarche all the way to menopause. Like, there are transitions, and anybody who's been through menopause can tell you they are not they are not the same person that they were 20, 30 years ago. My brothers out there, it's the same thing. Y'all don't have a menopause per se, but there is a definite space where the amount of stress that you endure on an everyday basis actually comes to a head. And society calls that a midlife crisis. But it's not a midlife crisis in the terms of, oh, now I gotta buy me a fancy car and I gotta do all these crazy things. No, it's a shift, right? It's a reset into your eldership, or into your, as my mom liked to say, your grown folk status, right? So that's what it is, and that's what we're talking about. I talk about how to actually look for herbs. Now, there are herbs that I specifically do mention, but they are very bioregional to the North Americas. So anybody reading the book from other countries, I highly, highly recommend do the research in your area so that you can know what works. But the thing about it, even if you don't have the actual herbs in your specific area, the main thing is learning the herbal actions, okay? What do you want done? Do you need something to help balance out your hormones? Hormone modulation or hormone balancing. Do you need something to help calm you down because you sat there and worked a 12-hour shift? Calming nervine, okay? Maybe you need a styptic, something to help stop bleeding. Maybe you need something to help with your blood pressure, anti-hypertensive. Herbal actions are where you go to figure out what herb you actually need to work with the particular situation you're trying to balance out. And I talk about that and so much more within the book. So yeah, have a sit down, get a cup of nice coffee or nice alternative coffee, nice glass of water, and sit down and have the dialogue with me. See what I have to say, and understand that what I'm saying in this book, it's not the end all of everything. You know, I really wrote this book as a resource so that when you're going to your primary care providers, you have a conversation with them. All right. You have a way to like, look, I know you want to cut this out of me. I know you want to put me on like all these medications. I know you want to call me a whiny woman and all this other kind of stuff. But let's just pause for a second and let's see if there's something a little bit more, you know, gentle or maybe subtle, or maybe I can just do something simple to shift this whole paradigm without having to go through a surgery that could mess me up, all right? Or take synthetic hormones that could mess me up horrifically, right? Because again, like I've told people before, this is a natural process. Everything on this planet has a phase of life and maturation that it goes through. Everything biological, from a plant to an animal to us. We start out really small, we get really big. Things change. And there's no reason to go into this change screaming and crying and fighting if you don't have to. And so with all that being said, I invite you and I welcome you to read my book, Herbal Harmony, a comprehensive guide to using herbs for reproductive health, not only as a way to know that you're not crazy, but to have a conversation with those around you and those who are responsible for your health. Thank you.